What if I told you that the answer to the prayer you've been whispering for months, or even years, is closer than you think? What if this season of waiting is not a sign that God has forgotten you, but proof that He is preparing something far greater than you can imagine? Right now, you may be carrying worries that no one knows about. You may be wondering when your life will finally change, when the pain will end, when the opportunity will come, or when your heart will finally find peace. But I want you to pause for a moment and consider this powerful possibility. What if your miracle has already begun, even though you cannot see it yet? God often works in silence. Before the sunrise, there is darkness. Before a seed breaks through the soil, it grows unseen beneath the surface. Before a miracle becomes visible, it first begins where only God can see. Today's message is an invitation to let go of fear, release the past, trust God's perfect timing, and open your heart to the blessings that are already making their way toward you. So don't listen with doubt. Listen with expectation. Listen with faith, because by the end of this message, I hope you will no longer ask, "Will my miracle ever come?" Instead, you will confidently say, "My miracle is already on its way, and I am ready to receive it." Take a deep breath, open your heart, and let's begin this journey together. Take a quiet moment and ask yourself one simple question. What if the miracle you have been praying for is already on its way? What if, even though you cannot see it with your eyes today, something beautiful is already unfolding behind the scenes? So often we believe that miracles arrive suddenly, without warning, changing everything overnight. But many of life's greatest miracles begin in a place that no one else can see. They begin within you. Before your world changes, your heart begins to change. Before new opportunities appear, your thinking begins to expand. Before peace surrounds you, peace quietly settles inside you. Every lasting transformation starts from the inside and gently flows outward into every area of your life. You may have been carrying disappointment for a long time. Perhaps you have experienced loss, rejection, financial struggles, broken relationships, or moments when you questioned whether your prayers were being heard. There may have been days when you smiled for others, while silently wondering if your own breakthrough would ever come. If that is where you are today, know this. Your current situation is not the final chapter of your story. What you see today is only a temporary moment. God is always able to create a new beginning from circumstances that seem impossible. Sometimes we become so focused on what is missing that we forget to notice what is already growing inside us. Every challenge has been quietly shaping your strength. Every delay has been teaching patience. Every obstacle has been preparing you for wisdom you could not have gained any other way. Nothing you have experienced has been wasted. Even the moments that brought tears have been preparing your heart for greater joy. Miracles often begin as a small shift in awareness. One hopeful thought replaces a fearful one. One grateful prayer replaces endless worry. One decision to believe becomes stronger than years of doubt. These small changes may seem insignificant, but they create space for extraordinary things to enter your life. Imagine planting a seed in rich soil. For many days, nothing appears above the ground. If you judged only by what your eyes could see, you might believe that nothing is happening. Yet beneath the surface, life is already at work. The seed is growing roots, gathering strength, and preparing for the moment it will rise into the light. Your life often works the same way. Just because you cannot see visible progress does not mean that nothing is happening. God is working in places your eyes cannot reach. The greatest obstacle to receiving a miracle is often not the situation itself, but the belief that nothing can change. Fear whispers that you have waited too long. Doubt tells you that other people are blessed, but somehow you have been forgotten. Past disappointments try to convince you that tomorrow will be exactly like yesterday. Yet faith speaks a different language. Faith quietly reminds you that every sunrise brings new possibilities. Every breath is a fresh beginning, and every moment gives God another opportunity to surprise you. You do not have to know every step ahead. You do not have to understand every delay. Your only responsibility is to keep your heart open. Stay willing to believe that something greater is possible. Stay willing to expect goodness, even when circumstances try to convince you otherwise. Hope is not pretending that problems do not exist. Hope is choosing to believe that God's power is greater than every problem you face. Release the need to control every outcome. Sometimes we exhaust ourselves trying to force doors to open that were never meant for us. We spend precious energy worrying about details that God has already taken care of. There is great freedom in trusting that what is truly meant for you cannot pass you by. What belongs in your life will arrive at the right time, in the right way, with the right purpose. As you begin to trust more deeply, something beautiful happens inside you. Your heart becomes lighter. Your mind becomes calmer. Gratitude begins replacing anxiety. Confidence quietly takes the place of fear. Instead of asking, "What if everything goes wrong?" you begin asking, "What wonderful blessing could be waiting just around the corner?" That single shift changes the energy you bring into every day. Choose today to see yourself differently. You are not broken. You are growing. You are not abandoned. You are deeply loved. You are not standing at the end of your journey. You are standing at the beginning of a new season filled with possibilities that may be far greater than anything you have imagined. Allow yourself to believe that miracles are not reserved for a fortunate few. They are expressions of God's limitless love and grace. Sometimes the miracle is a new opportunity. Sometimes it is unexpected peace. Sometimes it is healing, restoration, wisdom, forgiveness, or the courage to begin again. Whatever form it takes, it arrives exactly when your soul is ready to receive it. As you move through this day, remind yourself that your miracle does not begin when circumstances change. It begins the moment your heart opens to faith. It begins the moment you release fear and choose trust. It begins the moment you believe that God is working even when you cannot yet see the evidence. Take a deep breath and silently affirm, "I open my heart to God's perfect plan. I choose faith over fear. I welcome peace into my mind, love into my heart, and hope into my future. I trust that every step I take is leading me towards something beautiful. I believe that God is preparing blessings beyond anything I can imagine. My life is unfolding exactly as it should, and I receive every miracle with gratitude, joy, and unwavering faith. Today I choose to expect goodness because I know that God is always working for my highest good." Hold on to that feeling. Carry it with you wherever you go. Let it guide your thoughts, your words, and your actions. The miracle you have been waiting for may already be closer than you think, and it all begins within you. There are moments in life when waiting feels heavier than the challenge itself. You pray, you hope, you believe, and yet nothing seems to change. Days become weeks, weeks become months, and sometimes even years. During these seasons, it is easy to wonder if God has forgotten you. It is easy to question whether your prayers have reached heaven at all. But what if the waiting is not a sign that God is absent? What if the waiting is actually evidence that something greater is being prepared for you? God's timing is different from human timing. We often want immediate answers because we can only see today. We focus on what is missing, what has not happened yet, and what we wish would change right now. But God sees the entire journey from beginning to end. He sees every opportunity that is coming toward you, every person you are meant to meet, every lesson that will strengthen you, and every blessing that will arrive at exactly the right moment. What feels like a delay to you may actually be divine protection or careful preparation. Think about the sunrise. No matter how much you wish for the morning to arrive sooner, the sun never rises before its appointed time. Yet it has never failed to appear. Every new day unfolds with perfect order, reminding us that life itself follows a beautiful rhythm. The seasons never rush. A flower does not bloom because someone demands it to bloom early. It blossoms when the conditions are right. In the same way, your life has its own sacred timing. Your blessings are unfolding according to a wisdom far greater than anything you can fully understand today. Sometimes we become discouraged because we compare our journey with someone else's. We see others achieving success, finding love, experiencing healing, or reaching goals we have been praying for ourselves. We begin to wonder why their prayers seem to be answered before ours. But comparison steals peace, because every soul walks a different path. God is writing a unique story for each person. Someone else's season is not your timetable, and your season is not theirs. Your miracle has been designed especially for you. Waiting is never wasted when you choose to trust. During seasons of waiting, something valuable is happening inside you. Your faith is becoming stronger. Your patience is becoming deeper. Your character is being refined. You are learning to depend less on fear and more on God's promises. These invisible changes are preparing you to receive blessings with wisdom, gratitude, and maturity. Many of the greatest gifts require preparation before they can be fully appreciated. Imagine receiving everything you have ever wanted before you were emotionally ready to handle it. Sometimes the blessing itself is not delayed because God is withholding it. Sometimes it is delayed because He is lovingly preparing your heart, your mind, and your spirit to receive it with confidence and peace. There may be moments when closed doors disappoint you. You planned carefully. You gave your best effort. You hoped everything would work out, yet the opportunity disappeared. At first, it may feel like failure. But later, when life unfolds, you often discover that the closed door protected you from unnecessary pain or guided you towards something far better than you originally imagined. What seems like rejection today may become the very reason you find your true purpose tomorrow. Trust grows strongest when you cannot see the outcome. Anyone can believe when everything is going well. Real faith shines during uncertainty. It is the quiet confidence that whispers, "Even though I cannot see the path ahead, I know God is leading me." That confidence brings peace into the heart because it removes the burden of having to control every detail. You do not have to force your future into existence. You do not have to live in constant worry about whether everything will work out. God has never asked you to carry tomorrow before it arrives. He simply invites you to be faithful today. Take today's step. Speak today's prayer. Offer today's gratitude. Let tomorrow remain safely in His hands. Every delay carries an invitation. It invites you to grow instead of giving up. It invites you to become stronger instead of becoming bitter. It invites you to deepen your relationship with God instead of allowing fear to take over your growth. While you wait for your circumstances to change, allow your heart to become more peaceful, more grateful, and more trusting. Sometimes the miracle is already moving toward you while you are wondering if anything is happening at all. God is arranging conversations you have not yet had. He is opening doors you cannot yet see. He is aligning people, opportunities, and circumstances in ways that are beyond human understanding. Just because you cannot see the pieces coming together does not mean they are not already falling perfectly into place. Release the habit of asking, "Why is this taking so long?" Instead, gently ask yourself, "What is God teaching me during this season?" That simple question changes your perspective. Instead of seeing waiting as punishment, you begin to see it as preparation. Instead of feeling forgotten, you begin to recognize that you are being carefully guided towards something meaningful. There is tremendous peace in surrender. Surrender does not mean giving up on your dreams. It means giving up the need to control exactly how and when they will happen. It means believing that God's wisdom is greater than your own understanding. It means trusting that what is truly meant for you will arrive at the perfect moment, not one day too early and not one day too late. Even if today feels uncertain, choose not to let uncertainty become fear. Let it become expectation. Let every sunrise remind you that new possibilities are always being created. Let every breath remind you that God is still working. Let every challenge remind you that your story is still being written. Quietly tell yourself, I trust God's perfect timing. I release my need to rush the process. I know that every delay has a purpose, every closed door has wisdom, and every new day brings me closer to the blessings prepared for me. I believe that what is meant for my life cannot miss me. I welcome peace instead of worry, faith instead of fear, and gratitude instead of doubt. My heart is calm because I know God is guiding every step. I am exactly where I need to be today, and I trust that everything is unfolding in perfect divine order. Carry these words with you whenever impatience begins to rise. Let them become the quiet voice that reminds you to keep believing. Your journey is not behind schedule. Your prayers have not been ignored. God's perfect timing is already at work. And when the moment is right, what has been prepared for set, you will arrive in a way that leaves no doubt that it was always meant to be. One of the greatest gifts you can give yourself is the freedom to let go of what no longer belongs in your life. Many people pray for new blessings while unknowingly holding tightly to old pain. They ask God to open new doors while refusing to release the memories that keep them standing in the same place. Your heart is like a beautiful home. If every room is filled with yesterday's disappointments, where will today's blessings find a place to rest? Sometimes the miracle you have been waiting for begins the moment you decide that the past no longer has the power to define your future. We all carry stories. Some are filled with joy, while others leave deep wounds. Perhaps someone spoke words that made you question your worth. Perhaps a relationship ended in heartbreak. Perhaps you experienced failure, rejection, betrayal, or loss that changed the way you see yourself. These experiences are real, and the emotions they created deserve compassion. But they were never meant to become the place where you build your permanent home. They are chapters in your story, not the entire book. God did not create you to live imprisoned by yesterday. Every sunrise is a quiet reminder that life is always offering a fresh beginning. The past may have shaped you, but it does not have the authority to decide who you become. That choice belongs to you. Every day you are given the opportunity to think new thoughts, speak new words, and believe new possibilities. Holding on to pain often feels like protection. We convince ourselves that if we never forget what happened, we will never be hurt again. Yet in reality, carrying resentment, guilt, regret, or bitterness only keeps the wound alive. It asks your heart to relive yesterday's suffering over and over again. God desires something much greater for you. He desires peace that is not controlled by your past and joy that is not dependent on your circumstances. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful acts of freedom you will ever experience. Many people misunderstand forgiveness. They believe it means pretending the hurt never happened or saying that what someone did was acceptable. But forgiveness is not approval. Forgiveness is choosing to release the heavy burden that has been weighing down your own heart. It is saying, I refuse to allow this pain to control my future any longer. When you forgive, you are not setting someone else free. You are setting yourself free. There are also moments when the person you need to forgive is yourself. So many people spend years carrying guilt over mistakes they wish they could erase. They replay old decisions and quietly tell themselves that they should have known better or done better. But you cannot grow while constantly punishing yourself for who you used to be. Every experience has taught you something valuable. Every mistake has carried a lesson. The person you are today has been shaped by both your victories and your failures. God's love is greater than your regrets. His mercy is greater than your mistakes. He does not ask you to remain trapped in shame. He invites you to learn, to grow, and to begin again. When you accept His grace, you stop defining yourself by your worst moments and begin seeing yourself through the eyes of hope and possibility. Imagine carrying a backpack filled with heavy stones every day. At first, you might become used to the weight. You may even forget what it feels like to walk freely. But each stone represents an old hurt, a painful memory, a fear, or a regret. Now imagine slowly removing those stones one by one. With every stone you release, your steps become lighter. Your breathing becomes easier. Your journey becomes more joyful. This is what happens when you let go of emotional burdens. You make space for peace to replace worry, for hope to replace fear, and for gratitude to replace bitterness. Sometimes we hold on to the past because it feels familiar. Even painful memories can become comfortable simply because we have carried them for so long. Yet God is always inviting you into something new. He is not asking you to forget the lessons you have learned. He is asking you to stop allowing old pain to limit new possibilities. The future cannot fully unfold while your heart is constantly looking backward. Every blessing requires room to grow. Love grows best in a heart that has released resentment. Peace grows best in a mind that has released constant worry. Joy grows best in a spirit that has released hopelessness. Faith grows strongest when fear no longer occupies every corner of your thoughts. As you release what no longer serves your highest good, you naturally create space for God's goodness to flow into your life. This does not happen all at once. Healing is often a gentle journey rather than a single moment. Some days you may feel completely free, while other days old memories may return. Be patient with yourself. Healing is not about never remembering the past. It is about remembering without allowing the pain to control your present. Each time an old wound appears, choose love instead of resentment. Choose peace instead of anger. Choose trust instead of fear. With every choice, your heart becomes stronger. Do not believe the voice that tells you you have missed your opportunity for happiness. As long as you are breathing, new beginnings remain possible. God specializes in creating beauty from brokenness, hope from despair, and purpose from pain. What seemed like an ending may actually become the foundation for your greatest blessing. Today, make a quiet decision within yourself. Release the need to carry yesterday into tomorrow. Release the belief that your past determines your future. Release every fear that whispers you are not enough. God has already placed within you everything you need to move forward with courage, wisdom, and close your eyes for a moment and gently affirm, I lovingly release the past. I let go of every hurt, every regret, every fear, and every burden that no longer belongs in my life. I forgive myself. I forgive those who have hurt me. I choose peace over resentment and hope over despair. My heart is open to God's love, His healing, and His endless blessings. I trust that every day is a new beginning filled with fresh opportunities. I welcome joy, abundance, healing, and divine favor into every area of my life. I am no longer defined by where I have been. I am guided by where God is leading me. My future is filled with hope. My heart is filled with gratitude, and I receive every blessing with love and unwavering faith. Walk forward with confidence. Do not keep looking over your shoulder at doors that have already closed. The path ahead is brighter than the road behind you. Every step you take in faith creates more room for God's goodness to enter your life. The past has taught you what you needed to know. Now it is time to leave it where it belongs and joyfully embrace the beautiful future that is waiting for you. The words you speak each day are more powerful than you may realize. Long before your circumstances begin to change, your conversations reveal what you truly believe. Every sentence you repeat to yourself becomes a seed planted in the garden of your mind. Those seeds eventually grow into your attitudes, your choices, your habits, and the direction of your life. That is why it is so important to speak words that are filled with faith instead of fear, hope instead of doubt, and love instead of criticism. Many people unknowingly spend their days speaking against the very blessings they are praying to receive. They say, nothing ever works out for me. I will never be happy. Things always go wrong. I am not good enough. At first, these may seem like harmless expressions of frustration, but when repeated often, they become beliefs that quietly shape the way you see yourself and the world around you. The mind listens to every word you speak. Your heart believes what you tell it repeatedly. If your words are filled with discouragement, your spirit begins to carry that same weight. God has given you the beautiful ability to choose your words. You may not always be able to choose every situation you face, but you can choose the language you use while walking through it. Every morning presents a new opportunity to speak with confidence rather than fear. Even if your circumstances have not yet changed, your words can reflect the faith that they will. Speaking with faith does not mean pretending that difficulties do not exist. It does not require ignoring challenges or denying your emotions. Instead, it means choosing not to allow those challenges to have the final word. You can honestly acknowledge where you are while still believing that God is leading you somewhere better. You can say, "This season is difficult, but I trust that brighter days are coming." That simple shift changes the atmosphere within your heart. Imagine standing in front of two doors every morning. One door is labeled fear, and the other is labeled faith. Every word you speak is a step toward one of those doors. When you constantly focus on lack, failure, and hopelessness, you walk toward fear. When you choose gratitude, trust, encouragement, and expectation, you walk toward faith. Over time, those daily choices create the direction of your life. Your words also influence the people around you. A kind sentence can restore someone's hope. A gentle compliment can remind another person of their value. A sincere prayer can bring comfort to someone carrying invisible burdens. God often works through ordinary conversations to bring extraordinary encouragement into someone's life. Never underestimate the impact of speaking words that uplift rather than tear down. The way you speak to yourself matters just as much as the way you speak to others. Some people would never criticize a friend the way they criticize themselves. They look into the mirror and immediately begin listing everything they believe is wrong with them. They replay old mistakes and speak as though those mistakes define their identity. But that is not how God sees you. He sees potential where you see weakness. He sees purpose where you see confusion. He sees beauty where you see imperfections. Every time you choose to speak to yourself with kindness, patience, and hope, you begin seeing yourself through His loving perspective. There is incredible strength in replacing limiting thoughts with life-giving truths. Instead of saying, "I will never overcome this," choose to say, "With God's help, I grow stronger every day." Instead of saying, "Nothing good is happening," gently remind yourself, "Even when I cannot see it, God is working for my highest good." Instead of saying, "I am alone," choose to believe, "God's love surrounds me wherever I go." These are not empty words. They are daily reminders that keep your heart connected to hope. Gratitude is one of the most powerful expressions of faith. When you thank God before you see the answer, you demonstrate trust that He is already at work. Gratitude shifts your attention away from what is missing and toward the blessings already present in your life. The more grateful you become, the more peace you begin to experience. Gratitude opens your heart to recognize miracles that may have been there all along. Be mindful of the conversations you entertain. Constant negativity can quietly influence your thinking until discouragement begins to feel normal. Surround yourself with words that inspire faith, wisdom, kindness, and hope. Read messages that strengthen your spirit. Listen to conversations that encourage growth. Speak in ways that reflect the future you believe God is preparing for you rather than the fears you are trying to leave behind. Remember that your words carry energy into every room you enter. When you choose peace instead of panic, you become a calming presence for others. When you choose encouragement instead of criticism, you create an environment where people feel valued. When you choose hope instead of despair, you remind those around you that difficult seasons never last forever. Your voice can become a source of light in places where darkness once seemed overwhelming. There will still be days when doubt tries to return. Fear may whisper that nothing is changing. Old habits may tempt you to speak negatively about yourself or your future. When those moments come, gently pause and choose again. Every positive word spoken with sincere faith becomes another step toward emotional freedom. Every hopeful thought weakens the grip of fear. Every loving affirmation reminds your heart of the truth that God has never stopped working in your life. Do not wait until everything is perfect before speaking words of victory. Speak them while you are still growing. Speak them while you are still waiting. Speak them while you are still learning to trust. Your words become declarations of faith that prepare your heart to recognize the blessings already making their way toward you. Take a quiet moment now and allow these words to settle deeply within your spirit. I choose to speak words filled with faith, hope, and love. My thoughts are peaceful, my heart is grateful, and my life is guided by God's wisdom. I release every negative belief that no longer serves me. I welcome confidence, joy, healing, and abundance into every area of my life. I believe that God's favor surrounds me, His love strengthens me, and His blessings are unfolding at the perfect time. Every word I speak reflects hope. Every choice I make reflects faith. And every day I grow closer to the beautiful life God has prepared for me. I expect goodness. I receive peace. I trust God's perfect plan with all my heart. Carry these words with you throughout your day. Let them become part of your daily conversations, your quiet moments of reflection, and your prayers. The miracle you are waiting for is not only shaped by what you do, but also by what you continually choose to believe and speak. As your words become filled with faith, your heart becomes filled with expectation, and you begin to recognize that God's goodness has been surrounding you all along. Every person dreams of receiving a miracle, but few stop to ask an important question. Am I becoming the person who is ready to receive the blessing I have been praying for? It is natural to focus on what we want God to do in our lives, yet God is often just as concerned with who we are becoming along the way. Miracles are not only about changed circumstances, they are also about transformed hearts. Before a blessing arrives, there is often a beautiful process of preparation taking place within you. Imagine someone praying for a garden filled with colorful flowers while never preparing the soil. No matter how wonderful the seeds may be, they need healthy ground in which to grow. Your heart is that soil. Every thought of love enriches it. Every act of forgiveness softens it. Every moment of gratitude nourishes it. Every decision to trust God instead of fear makes it ready for the beautiful blessings He has prepared. As your heart becomes more peaceful and open, you naturally become ready to receive more of life's goodness. Preparation is not punishment. Sometimes we mistake the waiting season as evidence that nothing is happening, when in truth, everything important is happening beneath the surface. Just as a tree develops strong roots before it grows tall branches, God often strengthens your character before expanding your offer.